If you want me like this, and if you need me like that, it was dead long ago, but it's all sugar pants to me now. So glad to have you dastardly disciples along for today's bloated bemusement. This go around, we're spinning up the 1988 spectral cinema sensation, Twice Dead. A frightful fantasy about a haunted house, a happy little family, and a little bit of good old gang-bangery. So let's spirit away this one's sloppy secretions as Abraxas gives us our sleaze docket.
We have 8 dead bodies. 1 dead cat. Boo. 5 cups blood. 6 cups fake blood. 2 naked breasts. 1 sex scene. 1 badass switchblade. 1 roofied coke. 2 ghost exploded mirrors. Electric blanket malfunction foreshadowing. Ballroom dancing dress unzippery. Joker cackling. Pacifist son shaming. Knife to the back, but she's a doll, so who cares? 1 stabbed throat, but it's fake, so who cares? Basketball to the nose. 2 self-hangings. 2 shotgun warning shots. 3 shotgun blasts to the chest. Motorcycle clotheslining. 1 vehicular homicide. Repeated motorcycle beatdown smushing. Dumbwaiter head crushing. Electric sexual death times 2. Haunted rope attack. Haunted light switch. Haunted motorcycle throttle. Haunted shotgun reloading. Haunted shotgun assisted suicide. Record player jump scare. Dumbwaiter jump scare. Stomach snake monster jump scare. Driver side window smashing jump scare. Falling real doll jump scare. Real doll dance partner. Cops immediately know the criminal's cliche. And sexual motorcycle doll smushin'.
Back in the days of sepia tones, eccentric Holly weirdo Tyler Walker was in some financial troubles, though he might have been in better shape if he did more than dance the night away with his real doll. The law comes a-knockin', and Tyler decides to take a little noose nap before Harry Cates can serve him a court-ordered property seizure. Skip ahead a few decades, and Cates' extended kin have inherited the house. They're driving to the property, sight unseen, and are surprised to find it's the hangout spot for the local gang of no-goodniks. The punks don't seem to like being asked nicely to leave, but the plot conveniently puts a couple of officers on site. And it just so happens they have intimate knowledge of the group's criminal history as well as the property's controversial past. Well, isn't that convenient? Switchblade enthusiast Crip makes some kissy faces at Robin before taking off. Now, since he offed himself upstairs, Tyler's ghost is haunting the property and takes a sudden interest in the new family moving in. We get your typical ghostly bullshit, bumps in the night, spooky apparitions in mirrors, haunted rope attempted murder, standard issue spectral shenanigans. Unfortunately, the family has hit on some extremely hard times, so they can't move away. So mark that one down on the answer sheet for why the fuck don't they just leave on your ghost story questionnaire. But this one throws in some extra drama by having the gang members show up from time to time to cause some trouble. Picking fights at the friendly basketball games, Halloween-themed sexual assault on the front yard, low-impact car chase through the bad side of town. Through it all, Crip continues to show off what a total creep he is towards Robin. The dad insists on letting these punks know they're armed and willing to fight back, but the son is your typical 80s anti-violence youth and doesn't want to fight.
The hell kind of kid did I raise? What are you, chicken shit? You're just plain stupid.
He's a college kid on a theater arts scholarship, so, liberal pussy pacifist. After a couple of run-ins with the gang, the parents are forced to take an extended leave to take care of some legal issues with the inheritance. And that's when the gang ramps things up to home invasions. Crip breaks a window and goes upstairs to Robin's bedroom and finds her stabbed in the throat? Something from the shadows attacks, and we cut to the rest of the gang outside. One of the girls says Crip's been in there for 2 hours. The door swings open and an echoey voice calls out for Melvin. So naturally, he rides his motorcycle inside and is promptly clotheslined. Finally, the others have had enough and go inside to see what's going on. Candy goes upstairs and finds Melvin's severed fucking head spinning on the record player. Jesus, this fucking movie just took a hard right turn. Silk checks it out and finds a lot of fucking blood coming from the closet, where he finds Candy's decapitated corpse spewing all over. Fucking yeah! The shadowy figure attacks again. Unfortunately, the whole thing was staged. You see, Scott's been really paying attention to his special effects art courses and decided to do Home Alone if it was directed by Tom Savini. So nobody's dead, just incapacitated by chloroform. His final piece is a large application glued to Silk's chest. They load him up in the dumbwaiter and send him to the basement where Stoney finds him. And I'm just going to let this one play out.
Silk! Oh, Jesus.
The gang members who aren't unconscious all take off running, and Scott and Robin dump the bodies. Naturally, this level-headed group of young troublemakers will take this as nothing more than a good-natured prank, right? That actually brings us up to about half an hour left in the film, and I'm actually going to stop with the spoilers to leave the final act for anyone interested in seeing this one for themselves. I was actually quite surprisingly entertained by it. Twice Dead is a strange little movie, and I kind of liked it a lot more than I expected. It's not exactly the Home Alone but with ghosts that I read about while doing some research into it, but at the same time I see why some people give it that description. It's not a great film, but it is an alright film. One that I found strangely engaging, and I remain curious for the whole ride. On the plus side of things, the cast is very likable. Scott and Robin are a couple of 80s cuties and worked well together. The gang, while silly at times, always felt like a somewhat serious threat. Maybe Scott should have taken his dad's gun advice and spent less time pranking and humiliating the violent criminals. But that would be a much different movie. I was actually surprised when I was looking up the cast listings and found out that Scott, played by Tom Bresnahan, has been on the show before. He had a smaller role in Mirror, Mirror. Other movies from his portfolio include The Brain and Ski School. But I have to make certain to point out Jill Whitlow, who played the adorable little sister Robin. You definitely know her from Night of the Creeps. I always thought she was a soft-spoken cutie and felt it was a shame she wasn't a bigger star. She worked fairly steadily through the 80s and even into the early 90s, but that's about it. She's had a couple of recent small project credits very recently, but nothing major. Also, be on the lookout for Todd Bridges in his first acting gig after Different Strokes. Of course, regular viewers of the show should recognize Travis McKenna, who played Melvin in this one, but we spoke more about him in my review of Cheerleader Camp. Go check that one out for more on him. Well, I suppose that spooky story suppressed our sadness ever so slightly, and that big clock up on the wall says that's all for now from the basement. So until I descend upon your desktops for the next dirty ditty, this is your odious overseer, Sugar Pants. See you in your dreams.
Was that a penisaurus?